Widespread drought is no longer a problem across the United States. Interestingly enough, the area of drought focus has shifted from California to Florida. It's been extremely dry in the southeast. Florida and Georgia have the driest parts of the country, at least at the present time. There are patches of extremely dry areas in the Great Plains, but this is really more typically spring dry weather. And as long as we get some rainfall before high summer, most of these areas will be okay. But it's Georgia and Florida that are extremely dry. We've had a lot of warm weather and relatively dry weather in the northern plains, but this week represents the first really big chance for some widespread rains. It will start getting stormy, and I think that storminess will likely grow throughout the northern plains, courtesy of this evolving jet stream pattern, with a catch though. This type of pattern where the flow comes right out of the south and then moves up to the north usually transports a great deal of moisture northward, but it can also bring around patches of dry air, swaths of dry air, and we call these slots of dry air. And so some folks are likely going to be disappointed, but there will be the potential across the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, potential this week for some really beneficial rainfall. Some areas will get a nice soaking of rain. Other areas will get some nuisance sprinkles or some quick thunder showers and likely not get much rain out of it because we're still dealing with this high ambulatory jet stream pattern for the week ahead. And that will likely continue into the May 21st to 27th week, although this main trough will start to move out. We'll likely see it get replaced by a bit of ridging, which means the best chance for rainfall in the northern plains, upper Midwest area is going to be this week, maybe through this weekend, and then I think we may start to dry out once again. Temperature-wise, we're fairly warm around the air this weekend. That'll get knocked down a little bit by rain this week, but any really cool air will likely stay up north, eventually shifting into the Pacific Northwest this week. Hot weather will mostly be in the usual hot areas. As we head toward the second week, we may see some of that warm weather building back, although it looks like initially it'll be fairly cool. We may see, as this second ridge begins to build in, a second round of some warm weather into the northern plains. Overall, the second half of May, though, across the northern plains region is going to be, I think, a little bit cooler than the first part was and than the spring has been so far. So, what are we talking about overall? Rain chances are on the increase this weekend, this week, and next weekend into the northern plains and upper Midwest. That will bring eventually a spell of cooler weather, nothing unseasonably cool, just a little bit cooler. And the dry weather is mostly going to be confined to the southern states. But these rain chances are important. If we don't get rain, we're going to be dry for a while.